All right, yeah. Hi, folks. This is about like 5 minutes in the making. I'm here with Victorious Flux.
Hi.
And I'm Fuego General. We're just going to be talking about random SCPF topics from time to time. I think I'm too loud. Hold up. There we go. Okay, I think that's better. I don't know. So, there's really no editing going into this. The most I'll edit is probably like some audio with some
Yeah.
bits of uh maybe some flair, some annotations if I know how to use an editing software. But other than that, this is just an SCPF related podcast or whatever the hell
Most
we
of the
want to
time.
talk about. Yeah. So yeah, so this is Vic. Tell
Hi.
us tell us about yourself, Vic.
I have been a slave to this genre for far too long.
Oh oh
No, I'm kidding.
oh
I love it here. Most of the time. Uh,
most.
most of the time. Probably people probably won't know me as well as people know you, but I am a director at Member Arc. 478, not 32, thankfully.
Yeah. 32 is it's something else.
I've never
That
actually been on 32, weirdly enough.
32 I have to deal with because that's literally what Nikolai is based off of is
Oh yeah.
32 related assets. But now we've kind of gone out of our way to make our own. So it's like we're still dealing with, hey, this looks like Arc 32 and it's like
Yeah, I can imagine in some reverse, but what is 32 like just a copy paste of Nikolai's site,
no,
or like is it
no.
vastly
So
different?
32 it kind of depends what you're talking about. Like there's an arc I don't know the entire details, so people in the comments correct me if I'm wrong. So, from what I understand, Arc 32 was an SPF owned by, I don't know the name, but she was pretty good. Good development, good stuff. They were hyping up a new update. Then they had to do
Mhm.
college and they sold the group, and who they sold it
Ah,
to just remodeled the whole site. And that's why you have these Arc 32 clones, in a sense.
so it isn't so much that there's a clone of 32 as 32 being like a stereotype for free model site.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's a real shame because apparently the next update was supposed to be 096, add scramble goggles, all this stuff. I'm like,
Mm.
dang, the actual trend of what SCP is gone.
I know. I don't think I've ever seen an SCPF actually have scramble goggles. Like every SCPF near enough has 096, but
Yeah,
not one of them has the scramble goggles.
yeah, because it's just, it's probably has to do with the fact that scripting for it is much more difficult. I would probably have to guess because when it comes to that side of development, it's complicated. I don't think I understand it, nor you, because we're more of the internal people. We deal with
Yeah.
the departments and HR stuff. We don't really know the back end of things, which I'm starting to learn slowly.
Yeah, like the only time I've seen scramble goggles is outside of the SCPF group genre. I've seen it because you remember Task Force, right? You know Task Force.
Yeah, I played Task Force before.
Have you played the 096 mission?
Yes, I have. It's pretty much what that was supposed to be in Arc 32.
Yeah.
It,
Other than that, the only other place I can think of SCP related that has scramble goggles is no um I think it's the SCP roleplay. I forget if it has like an actual name, but you know the popular one
really?
by the same people who do come on, Glacier.
Glacier. Oh, those guys.
Novaco. Yeah, it's the
Oh,
same people.
oh,
Same gun
Nova. Okay.
system. Yeah, they have scramble goals for Aero 96 too. But yeah, general wise, no, I've never seen it. I don't
Yeah.
think even the old, like the really old ones that just kind of did whatever the fuck they wanted to. I don't think I've seen
Yeah.
scramble goggles.
The thing is that Scramble became more of a trend with the small 096 film. Like something I realized about the genre, they click on to what's trending within the SCP space. For example, like Lord Bung, for example, in the Pines, that song really went up in demand in the genre. Like Delta, for example, had that for like years. I think they still
Yeah,
have
because
it. I
In the
don't know.
Pines came from like it got popularity from Containment, didn't it?
The
The little
confinement,
animation.
confinement. Yeah,
Confinement, yeah.
That's what I said. Lord Bung. It's It's
Oh yeah, right. It's called Log Man. The next episode of that's coming soon.
yeah, I'm hyped for that. I,
Me
I'm
too.
I'm just overall a bit worried. It's like where I'm just like taking a while, man. But he's just had a lot of
Yeah, he.
issues, just a bit
Yeah,
of issues.
episode 8 took for. I think it's episode 8. Episode 8 was the last one, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yeah, which is like a year this
Yeah,
this
the
point.
IKEA, Infinite IKEA.
Yeah.
Because that one took forever because he broke his ass.
But
I like. I don't even know how you do that. How do you break your ass?
I don't know either, but it's probably a lot of medical jargon.
Oh yeah, it's
Like
probably a lot of like. There's probably a reason to it, but like doing it normally, I don't understand. Did you just sit down too hard or something?
I think
Like,
I think just something over time may affect him. I don't know, but anyway, back to the topic of trends in SCPFs. So sometimes trends can be good, but there have been times where it hasn't, and there's a lot of examples. I think a lot of people can
oh
really
no.
state. And I'm not going to state them here because, again, this is like the first episode, folks. So I don't really want to go into the whole nitty gritty of like these departments trending in the genre or this specific idea in the genre because I don't want to, we don't want to state overall the main
The big
issues.
topics.
Yeah. We're mainly just trying to keep it to we will state on it what we feel on it. But as for like, hey, this is right, this is wrong, this is we were not here to judge that. We're just here to just comment on it. Period. No more, no less.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, hey, we really understand that topic to a good degree, so it
Yeah.
depends. Anyway, that that's
Okay.
that's kind of the problem I'm having with when going into this podcast in some way because I'm afraid people are going to take my word as the absolute truth of the genre itself.
Mm.
I
I
don't know. I don't know.
I think it's a fine line to walk, but honestly, at the end of the day, we're just getting our opinions out there. People can listen. They can say what they wanna. They can comment on it. At the end of the day, it's just our opinions.
Yep. And someone's going to call you frickin' furry because of the frickin' headphones you got on right there,
Oh
but
yeah. Oh, undoubtedly.
welcome to the genre. Woo!
Woohoo! Yeah, no. I think one of the big things about it is I think it's pretty common knowledge, but obviously Phoenix not fixing their app center is
Yeah.
a
Ugh.
pretty telltale sign of what's to come.
Yeah, I'm predicting after the new year they're going to shut down the game entirely. I wouldn't be surprised. And
Mm.
Phoenix had a good run despite I know there is a lot of things wrong within Phoenix. I get that. There's pros and cons to every community out there. But Phoenix, I think, did good in various aspects. And that's one, CD could actually do something and actually rival combatives. Two, the combatives actually had fun encountering CD in various ways. And three, the SCPs were pretty decent and
Oh
bit
yeah.
like sure they were AI, there was no anomaly actors, which that in itself I feel kills a lot of potential for a group because anomaly actors, oof, you got to have at least some interaction basis. Phoenix didn't have that, but they still succeeded because their SCPs were different and per the
Every,
usual
yeah.
course.
Every SCP in Phoenix had its own thing. It was unique. You could point at an SCP and go, "That's unique because it does this." There
Yeah,
wasn't one that just was like, "Wait, that's just like another one, but it does it in a different way."
yeah. And the Keter SCPs they had, like Abel and the Big Bird, like those are
Bird.
pretty good. Because the last time I saw Abel in SCPF was just like, hey, it's in the coffin, press button, and that's it.
You breach. Which,
Yeah,
okay, it was pretty much what Phoenix's was, but it was unique in the way you recontained him.
yeah, you just had to shoot a lot. And the gunplay really helped it flourish. Now, I'm not
I never
saying,
actually shot a gun in Phoenix.
yeah, the gun system was good for the time. Later on, it got to be an issue entirely
Mm.
because it wasn't maintained well. Yeah, because like for example, like you would have different view angles. You wanted to like look out of your left shoulder, right?
Yeah.
All right. You would press that button, look out your left shoulder. You put the gun away. Sometimes it just wouldn't keep that. Like when you pull out your gun
Oh,
again, it just switched over. Or for example, you previously pulled out your gun to the west of your position, right? You
yeah.
pointed it left. You want to keep it left. You turn right. You pull out your gun. You turn left entirely. So
Oh,
little things that really cause a bit of issue within
yeah.
some
The thing with
aspects.
gun systems, they have to be perfect. Like, if they have a thing that immediately puts you at a disadvantage because of the fact the gun system is broken, it's not fun. And I think that's like a pretty important thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
because obviously, especially if you're in a firefight, that happens to you and it makes you lose that fight. Especially if you're a CD, you're gonna be pissed.
Very.
Like, especially if you knew you could have won it. Like, you're up against an SCD or something who just got their fucking little pistol, their shitty pistol, and you got a fucking RPK or something. You pull it out, you flip back around, and before you can turn back around, you've been fucking shot in the head twice and you're dead.
Yeah. It didn't really. It really was a thorn, but people went for it.
Yeah, obviously, again, I've never touched Phoenix's gun, so I don't even know what it's like.
I think it
What
was
was
pretty.
really
In my opinion, it was decent. Got the job done. Felt smooth in some areas, but it did lag a bit.
mm,
It.
what was recoil like in Phoenix?
What was what? Sorry.
Recoil like from a gun system.
There
Was it
was no
like heavy
recoil.
recoil?
I'll be honest.
Oh,
It didn't feel. There was no recoil. The thing is, I understand wanting recoil on your gun system, make it realistic, more of a challenge. I get that, but at the same time, you have to do it right. Like for example, um, FPSs, they do it well because you can have that singular reference point. When it's third person, that's a bit harder. Like Gears of War is the only example I've seen in third person shooters where recoil was done well because it was more refined. There was more testing to it. With genres,
mm,
mm,
not so much.
Arc for 7/8's an example of that, in my opinion. I can't master it.
Uh,
I'm too much of a freaking boomer to understand the amount of crack that some of the combatives are on to really pull off some maneuvers. Like, respect to them, but I'm not a fan of that system.
yeah, that's fair enough. That does bring up a question. What's your favorite system for like the genre and SCPF? Like,
Third,
what gun system?
OTS systems over the shoulder because I feel like that is a good baseline in itself, but it really just is a matter of how it's portrayed and how it's done. For me personally, OTS, but I'm planning within Nikolai, we're planning on using ACSM, which has a over the shoulder position and first person position
Mm-hmm.
because it's not made by the original ACS developers, which made it laggy. Now, I have had some conversation with some higher development people outside of Nikolai, and where ACS has this consistent problem where it can't support 30 plus servers, which I'm really scared about. So I'm just thinking in my head, what could we do as a backup plan?
That's OTS.
Yeah, just OTS singularly, and then just be like, see if we can get someone in our development team to make it because I think someone said they could make it. I don't know, but
Okay.
yeah.
So what about TPS? What's your opinion on TPS? Is it like a dead thing for the genre?
Unused, like it's untapped, similar to like first person shooters. Like FPS can work in the genre, I feel. Like it really is just the matter of development etiquette it has. Because if it's like ACS FPS, then you're not going to have a good time. That's just going to be mucky. But if you have something like Area 309's first person shooter, uh, just a bit of a statement to the listeners. So Area 309 was my first SCPF, and it was a first-person shooter with its own FPS system. This was before ACS and everything else. So it just needs to be refined.
Mm. I mean, TPS. I mean, Delta exists. Delta's like a prime example of TPS, really.
Oh yeah,
T-
that is true. What do you think on that? Yeah.
but I don't think new SCPFs are looking at TPS as an option anymore.
Nah,
They go to OTS. They go for
Nah,
FPS or it.
because
Yeah.
people compare it to Delta, and if you say like compared to Delta, people are like, oh, point click adventure game. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty accurate. Not gonna lie.
It is pretty accurate, yeah. But I think in its own way, I don't think it should just be like forgotten about. I'm surprised SCPFs haven't come back to it. Because that's all it was back in my day. Back in my day, it was TPS or like very rarely you'd have like FPS.
When back in the day refers to like 3 years ago. Damn. Damn, that was back in the day, bro. I was still in school, man. Dang, that's how far back it went.
But no, I really do because I always like TPS. TPS is by far my best combat system, which is weird considering I'm in MGF, and it's OTS, but we don't talk about that. What
We
about
don't.
Paragon's guns? Isn't Paragon ACS or FPS?
Um, I'm trying to. It's OTS. It's OTS.
Oh, the OTS too.
It's it's pretty decent. My problem with it is just the gun balance is. Oof. Again, I haven't played Paragon in a while, and I have my opinions on those groups, but that's for a separate day. But the gun system, from what I remember, pretty.
Okay.
It's all right. As for balance, I don't know anything too much because I was there for a bit, saw one gun rebalance, then left when Deer took the entire Gotham City bank. That's pretty much how you can describe that situation. Okay.
Yeah, they're kidnapping the entirety of the funds, But
Yeah.
yeah, oh, this genre's a fun place, honest.
Yeah, and funds is one of the things I have to deal with, and I'm down for that. Like, I get it. Devs need to be paid. There's no objection against that. But my issue is like people are like, well, just don't pay them. It's about the game, right? It's like, yes and no. We're at the point where Roblox developers have to be paid because that's how this economy within Roblox works. It's like
Yeah,
trying to say, yeah, we could switch we can make America into a different type of democracy. And it's like that's not really possible to that extent. It doesn't work like that. It's like
no,
because the system that Roblox has now is much more commercialized and you can't avoid it. Someone's going to want a piece of the pie. And because of that, it's now gotten to that point where we have to pay devs. We have to pay to this major extent. It's just a matter of trend and commercialization
yeah,
within Roblox itself, not just the genre. Like UNSC groups, for example. Those are, oh my god, the amount of money I've seen spent in those. Holy shit. No, so I remember talking to someone a bit ago about how like this person spent about 2,000 on this Halo group only for it to be shut down and not receive anything else because the person gave up, apparently.
wow,
So that's like $2,000 down the drain for that person, and it's like that's the type of situation. It's like making a business and then seeing it just fall into recession and you know close down entirely. Same
yeah,
applies. And as much as people might be like, well, this isn't a business, it's a game, Roblox is turning games into businesses without
yeah.
it sucks. It's a whole other range of issues, which there's probably a bunch of videos on that. Like
Oh yeah, very, especially on like the situation with developers, because legally there's no law about not paying your developers unless you form a contract with them. Like you could say, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay you, I mean you can
yeah,
take their work, and then just
yeah,
not pay them, and what can
yeah.
they do? Report you to Roblox?
Yeah, that's the thing. And if there's no contract, there's no anything, then it's a mess.
Yeah, it's
Ugh.
it's a big kettle of fish.
Hell that
Weirdly enough, I don't see much of that in the genre.
yeah.
Obviously, besides VR developer coup, but that's a different topic entirely.
Or I will say this to SCPF owners that literally have like a 1 man, 3 man, 4 man team. pr- Props to you, dude. Like you're you're taking your own sweet time in one of the most unprofitable genres imaginable. And the only reason like some people want to make it is to just rip off people, be their own selves, and be power hungry to a major extent, or just have fun. I'm in the sense of
Yeah.
having fun and giving people stuff to do. Pear is in that sense too. People like Creepy Sins, I don't know anymore. You see what it's again, jargon, blah blah blah, mess. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big thing, and it's hard to tell
Oh,
the lines that people
oh,
walk. But honestly, I
oh.
think more and more people are stepping more into it. Just I want to do this because I want to have a game, but it's fun to play and people can enjoy, rather than just thinking, "Hey, I'm going to do this as a cash grab."
Yeah, that's my freaking thought. And any cash that's made within the game itself goes back into the devs or to
Yeah,
ads. That's it. I'm not planning to be like, oh yes, I get this much. Like if it gets to
yeah,
the point where we make so much, then it's like, okay, I would consult the people who co-own the group with me, and if they're like, oh yeah, yeah, that's fair, dude. We are making this much. We have this much, and boom, boom, boom. Like you have to consult and have consent with the people who helped you get to that point. If you don't, you're gonna end up like Deer, which he didn't consult. They said no. He did consult. Then they said no, and then he went and did it anyway because there was no control.
yeah.
It it's
What's
just
actually happening with that? Like Pathos coming back? Is it dead in the water, or is it still planned to come back?
no. Pathos is planning to come back. It does have a new site coming and new leaks are coming out for it, but in Nikolai development, I've seen some like pics of it, like we would talk about it. It just looks like 2018, 2019 SCPF build structure to me.
Huh?
Like that's just me. No offense. If anyone's in Pathos, do understand. To anyone watching, if we say we don't like we're not big fans of this, that doesn't mean the game's bad in any form or the community. It's just, not a big fan of it. Oh well.
I,
Just you
yeah,
are
because I thought one of Pathos's biggest features outside of the actors was how big the site was. That site was massive.
yeah, you had roads upon roads, and then you had 682. Like the models were good. There was a lot of good stuff about Pathos. All right, that's without a doubt.
Oh
Again,
yeah,
it's just a matter of trying to be like, hey, this one's the best, and you can't think otherwise. It's like that's not it's not good. That's not a good way of thinking. Just
yeah,
admit, just at least admit to some extent that yeah, maybe I shouldn't think like that. But then again, we're in the
yeah.
genre, so who knows? Yeah.
One thing I will say about Pathos added anomaly actors into this genre, no matter how we slice it. Like, without Pathos, anomaly actors would have just gone over. They would have never been a thing. From my knowledge, Pathos was the first to do it, and people flocked to it because of that.
Yeah, and
And then,
it worked. It did work, but I will say
yeah,
there's a ugh, it's I would want to say more, but I don't want to. I really don't. It's already been said.
yeah. I still think anomaly actors are a great thing for the genre, but when they're the only SCP, it sucks.
Yeah, because you would have to rely on setting schedules up, and these people would be like on 9 to 5 job sets, and it's like that's not good. Have a mix of
No,
both AI and actor. Blech,
yeah,
I can't
like
speak.
obviously speaking from a CD's perspective, I don't know how true this is for Pathos, but apparently in Pathos you had to jump through so many hoops just to do one test because you needed CDC to be stable, you needed actual CDs, you needed combatives, you might have needed MTF, you needed the actor to be on, like
So now, when it comes to that, that's just general genre genre jargon with the scientific scene because you have to make sure of all these things. But if I think the problem there isn't the matter of just CDC stability or CD integration. It's about having people at least. God, what was I going to say? God, I just lost my train of thought. Oh my God, I'm
availability.
sorry.
It's
Yeah, there we go.
it's
Availability.
it's relying on too many people at once for anything to reasonably happen.
Yeah. And
And yeah,
when it comes to it, I'm just overall over here thinking about new ideas of how to implement CDs into other things outside of tests and the other boring crap, like DEA tour or EC interview. Stuff that
yeah.
just does.
DEA tours are a different thing, though, in my opinion. Like DEA tours can be really interesting if you don't know the site. Like they are useful. It's nice to see the site, but you wouldn't get to see otherwise without having to write your way out.
Yeah. Now, now when the idea I came up with, or that, not I came up with, hell no, stop me, stop. That my '05 head and some other HRs within Nikolai figured out is, what if we have CD check Unit 3 instead of MTF? Like, it would work like this. JTF would be like, hey, we need to go to Unit 3. And they're like, oh, okay. And they would just pick out a random CD, and it would pretty much be like a small little. They would be given like, "Hey, you're given Unit 3 duty or something by JTF," and it's like
Yeah,
they're like, "Ah, crap! I gotta walk in there, see if it's safe." And now there comes the other problems of, oh, is the CD gonna be truthful? No, how it would be is they would just walk down there. If they died, then yeah. If they didn't die, then it's fine.
oh yeah. I dig that. That's actually not a bad show. The only
Yeah,
thing, obviously the only problem is CDs are CDs.
yeah.
but
The
not all of them are the brightest.
But the
We will
thing is,
say.
that's kind of the idea, is to give them at least another opportunity to run, in a sense. There'll be a JTF right behind you, of course. You would have to be pretty quick to outmaneuver them.
Oh yeah,
But that
I
adds that
like that.
barrier.
It's but so no, I do like that idea. That's not that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it would make sense. Like it's probably not because it's not something that you just do as a combative. You wouldn't go, am I gonna walk into this SCP potentially SCP filled area by myself when we have disposable subjects who could do it for me?
Yeah.
Like
Now,
there's
it would be a rare scenario ordered to be executive majority of situations handled by JTF. It's just a lot of like internal jargon to really make sure that it's not like that easy.
yeah,
But having CD take up a point of basic function instead of wasting more in personnel in a sense makes sense in the whole scheme of the genre.
yeah.
You just have to make systems around it.
I don't. I like that. I do. Giving cities more of anything to do is always good in my books. For
Yeah.
like,
And
because pretty much that is either test slaves. Oh, they can do like a very mundane and ridiculously repetitive job.
and I'm
They
gonna
get some like pennies.
yell something real quick. So hold on, let me just get on the chair. Let me just get on the table. To all owners, please understand this when it comes to CD. The CD conversation needs to just be this: give more content to the CD, not because they deserve it or they should be overpowered, but so they can just get something to do. Like, good lord, people. Adding a riot system in just that does not work. Giving them just guns in a riot system doesn't work. You have to have a variety in what they can do. Exercise could give them XP for something. Have them earn something in the game by doing something like XP system or an achievement system, or whenever they escape, they get a unlockable item. Like, so much stuff you could do with the CD experience that no one's thought of because everyone's bothered with the same thing. They can't be freaking bothered, and I'm just like, "Urgh."
Yeah, I like the XP system. Sounds good because there's a lot of things you could add to do with that XP system, and you could also play to combatives. Like
Yeah,
obviously these have specific shit. Like you could have there's obviously probably like gun handling as a stat, which would change your recoil patterns to be less. Obviously, combatives would have like a base level of it, but CDs wouldn't. But the more you shoot, the better it gets. Like this is an example. obviously not a cut and dry kind of thing with that, but you could also like, as an idea, hacking's a pretty big thing in the genre because we've just ditched key cards.
Yeah.
Just being able to open dog instantly. You have to sit there and wait to solve like a puzzle or something.
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
Arc did decent with the idea, but it's too complicated. It's too number driven to the point where it's like Simon Says, but 10 times worse and with numbers. Like that's not going to make a average player to be like, I don't know what the hell this beep means. I'm not going to bother. So he's just going to
Yeah.
shoot at someone. If you have to make the challenge approachable, but not provoking, because you give them
Yeah.
like no hate to anyone that's like, oh, but it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, you can do it yourself, but think about the 100 other people who play that game within a day.
Yeah. Like, saying that you can do something that you made is not saying much.
Yeah, like it just bothers me to that extent, and I'm just over here like, hello. Okay, you're saying that you do it. Does that mean everyone else? They're like, no. Okay, so not everyone. Well, I'm me. It's like, what? I know, but what? My brain just goes into a whole freaking like mindset of, okay, that you're one of these people. Okay, not bothering.
Yeah. That's another thing. I think SCPF owners need to realize, hey, get more people to test your fucking updates.
Yeah. So, Nikolai, all right, there are going to be some points of testing. Like when it comes to development, when it comes to my overall ideal of that, it's like, hey, this is what we're doing. We're going to have some tests with boosters, but when it comes to the big tests we need, everyone. I don't care, everyone. Yeah, get in here. Everyone. Everyone. There's no point to jar people out to not test something that's a game that they're waiting for. Like, come on. Or a game they want to see do well and to be managed well with community input.
Yeah. Another thing with testing, if you open your testing to like the greater public, it proves to them, hey, we're doing shit. We're not just sat here on our asses raking in the money. We're giving you stuff.
Yeah.
But like you won't just see from the leaks we post.
Like, hey, let me take a look in the ARC Discord right now. Let me see what's going on in leaks. There is nothing in development. Or teaser. When was this? Yeah, no, the last teaser was like a month ago.
Yeah, in fairness, but it has been finals month.
It has. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, when it comes, that's something I want to bring up to a lot of things I'm working on right now. It's like, hey, it's the holidays. Let's just slow it down a bit, people. Finals plus family plus God knows what else going on with people. Like I can't, like I really don't get people that try to push during the holidays. It's like, but we need a break, dude. I got like family. It's like, nope, develop. No. Chill.
Yeah.
Chill. Okay.
I have another weird one. I think this is sort of lost to time a little bit. What's your status on FPs just being able to wear their own clothes? Because I think it's pretty 50.
Yeah.
You see, sometimes you have uniforms, sometimes FP don't.
Yeah, I like that idea. It's pretty good.
Like, it's a weird one because, like, there's the argument, well, it just makes FP look unprofessional. It gives something else for EC to enforce. Because, well, they can wear whatever the fuck they want. Who's to say they're not going to come in with one of those shirts? If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It took a minute.
My brain is like, hee funny moment. I don't know why. My brain is really just out of it right now. God.
But no, like, it's a weird one. Because I think, weirdly enough, it's gotten to the point where FP uniforms are more common today than they were back then.
Yeah.
It's like one of the things that's gone in reverse in the genre.
Very reverse. A lot of things can be considered as reverse here, but
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think when it comes to like outfits, there does need to be a change. Like maybe every like Arc has it to where every random spawn it's like 1 of 3. That's it. Right? Is
Mm.
that a thing or no?
No, it's level based. Level 1, 2, and 3 all have different uniforms.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm thinking of CD then.
Yeah, CDs have different random uniforms, which I
Yeah.
really like. I really
Bro,
like that. It's
bro,
such a tiny
I
thing.
like getting on and getting the wife beater one on though. That's what I call. That's literally what
Is that
everyone's
the one?
called it. Okay,
Is
don't
that the
look at
one
me.
with no orange suit?
Don't.
This is just the best.
Yep, just the white shirt. Just the what is it? The white short sleeve shirt. AKA.
Yeah, the wife beater kit.
Yep. This video will never be monetized in the entirety of my channel's existence
Yeah.
when I
No,
go
I hope you're
forward.
ready to never get any money from these things.
Woo! All right.
But no, I like that. That's something I think we should see more. I also just want like more general customization. Like letting combatives just customize their gear. Even if it's only a little thing. Like let them have patches.
Yeah. Combative customization's a bit much. It's a bit harder, to say the
Yeah.
least, because if they change too much, they won't even know who's the combative. For example, like let's say you can change the
All
helmet and
thinking of that.
everything.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, am I lagging? Hello?
Oh, no, carry on. Sorry.
Okay. But what is it? So I think God, what was I talking about? Jesus.
Combative customization.
Yeah.
That's what we were in the
So let's say this trainee has a regular cap and this one has a helmet. Who's the trainee? What's the trainee outfit? You come into
Yeah.
that situation of dress code and internal stuff that it gets really hectic. That's why departments aren't usually touched on to that extent. Unless it's like, of course,
True.
non-combative, that would make sense. But combatives,
That
you
would make
can't
sense for
touch. The
combative.
customization combatives could get is within their loadout. Because if you give a freedom of loadout, that makes it feel like a tactical shooter game. Like, hey, I'm going in with like this gun. It's this good. Like that's how
So
Phoenix
like
did it.
Phoenix had.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's what I liked. And Arc kind of has that, but the problem
It's so
is,
limited.
yeah, they need more guns. I feel, but at the same time,
They need less guns. It's a weird
yeah,
balance.
yeah,
SC, like base SC, you either get your starter gun, the G36, or the MK18. All of which are basically the same gun with different stats.
yep.
They don't feel any different. There's nothing good or bad about them. They're pretty much identical across the board, and they just do better than the last one.
Yeah,
Which, yeah, okay, fair enough. But like, you could do so much more. I feel.
that's true.
Like, even the special weapons vendor, which is used to be SSO and MTF lock, like you can buy like 2 extra guns and the sniper in there, which yeah, completely changes how it works. But you're not limited to one primary. You
Hmm.
can have your base primary and then get an M110 and have a sniper with your fully automatic rifle,
Yeah, for me,
which I think is another thing. Phoenix did a lot right. For how much shit the community gave it, the game itself was very well thought out, to my knowledge, as like an outsider.
mhm. Yeah, the gun
Everything
system.
just seemed to work.
Yeah, and the one of the things I was really a prime candidate for is like we need a riot shield, and people are like, "Oh no, it's gonna be RT," and I'm like, "No, no, hear me out." And I brought up the example of Rainbow Six Siege, and I'm like, you basically replace it as a
Why
primary.
is fun to hear?
Oh boy, it's Thunder. All right, let's just ignore him. Ignore him. Special guest star
Fun can
Thunder
join
Cheeks.
me.
Yeah, can you yell at him to go away? Yell him to go away, bro.
We should make a private server of it.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to test it. This seems pretty worth, my opinion. Just a note to people. I just wanted to see like, could this studio work to record in? And yeah, it kind of does. Kind of fits. We got the KFC bucket there. We got a plant, podcast, air conditioner. Yes, thank you, Thunder. Anyway, so
Okay.
Jesus, this is gonna be weird to upload to YouTube for the first time, but I do need to get
Yeah, it's gonna.
I do need a thumbnail though, but I might be able. I might just go into MS Paint, put my Roblox character there, and just say SCPF Podcast Part One. It's in like shitty font.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you might have to do a little bit of cutting.
I'm not sure how to edit, but I'll figure something out. I'll try
Yeah,
tomorrow.
I can probably do that much.
Eh,
Probably.
probably. All
Yeah,
right.
cutting and editing is about bad. But no, carry on. Where the fuck were we? Cause no. Yeah, gun customization, riot shields
Yeah.
in Phoenix.
So my idea was replace the primary with the riot shield. Have it be a team based. Because like if you had like 4 SD with you or 3 with like the main primary guns like a P90 or something and 2 people with riot shields and it's a riot, boop, shields in the front, then it's like okay, peek out, boom, 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 like actual team coordination, which it was kind of used for that at various points, but there was some issues in some regard. Like people felt very limited that they couldn't get out their pistol while they had the riot shield out, you know?
Yeah, I think that would have been too good.
Yeah, it would have. It would have, and I brought that up, and they're like, okay. But another thing was, if you bought the RPK Game Pass, you would have 2 primary weapons in your inventory: the RPK and whatever primary weapon slot you could switch out. And when you
Okay.
switch to the riot shield, yeah. The thing is that the RPK was like, God, what was the price of that thing? 20.
15,000 robots or something?
I don't know. Let me take a look here. I'm looking at the website. Bah. Wow, 7 people on. Nice. Yeah, 15K Robux. So that's $150.
It's not something everybody would have, and it would be a very niche
No,
case.
not $150. What the fuck am I thinking?
Come on, Fuego, you can do it.
Oh no, it is $100. It's more than $100. Like 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, 120. But pricing those game passes like that really. Ugh.
Yeah, that's an entire other topic of
Yeah.
pricing game.
Yeah, that's
But
a Roblox thing. That ain't the genre. Well, it can
yeah,
go in tandem, I guess. But that pricing. But you would have the RPK and the riot shield, and it would just be chaotic. Very,
yeah.
very chaotic.
Did people ever end up using the riot shield? Like, did it become a used thing for it?
It was used, but it wasn't primary because people needed to just get the objective done, which was kill. Yeah, basically. Now, one thing I will say when it came to that is there was potential for Phoenix to be the center point of multiple GOIs. It could have been.
Mm.
Like, I do remember when I was 05, they had like a bunch of these GOIs line up and that were approved. Like Church of the Broken God, THI was one of the first. But this Church of the
We got
Broken.
added by it, didn't we?
Yeah, they did. But this Church of the Broken God would have been so fucking good, dude. Like I can't even begin
Mm.
because their builds looked so good, so fitting to what they were going for. Their morphs were fitting. They were neon, I will say, but it was pretty good because it was something different, something futuristic looking that looked techno mania. You know how Church of the Broken God, they're like followers of Mecha Knight or something?
Yeah, I read the proposal about I think it wasn't a warm proposal.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't the primary thing, but it was
Yeah.
the layout.
But it looked that part entirely. It had that tech feel, whatever the case. Ugh. But never did go through. I don't know why. I don't know the details because, things. I don't know. I don't know. But it was
Uh,
one of those things where it's like, man, wish that happened. Because if you had multiple,
yeah,
because if you had multiple GOIs on one site that could operate freely, that would be good. Like very good. It would be like an ecosystem of an
Mm.
SCPF. Because
I
three
think that's
GO
something that I haven't seen. Like, how would hostile GUIs interact with hostile GUIs if they were on at the same time?
I think it would just be like, hey, they're hostiles too, so we're allied to them here. Like whole relations thing.
Yeah, an enemy of my friend. No, wait. No, no, no. A friend
Uh,
of my. No, shit, come on. An enemy of my enemy is my friend. There you go.
Yeah,
Covering the
there
enemy.
you go. Because really it would just depend on how their relations took it. Unlike CI and THI, who will never get along. But what can you do?
Yeah.
It's a whole anyway. But let's see. GOIs, we talked about guns, talked about money. Money.
Money. Money.
Money.
Okay, here's the thing. Do you think allied GUIs have a future in SCPFs?
No. I'm sorry to say no. Like, the only ones that have potential, possibly UIU and GOC as
Yeah.
possible ally. And the thing is that GOC is supposed to be against the Foundation. So we're already.
UIU is literally the only one that is fully allied to the Foundation in like every situation, pretty much.
Yeah, they have the same goals. It's just UIU is just a budget cut. They are severely lacking
Yeah.
funds.
But I love that about them. I've gone over how much I love UIU to you, but yeah, I
UIU.
love UIU.
UIU. I
What
like the
about
idea too.
GIU?
GRU is just I've read about it. I've looked at some articles. I can't grasp it
Me
because
neither.
it's pretty per the course, but it doesn't even exist in the whole scheme of the wiki anymore. Like in future uh, SCP articles, like for example, like it disbanded when Russia, within lore, within its own canon, GRU did just go away after the
The
USSR
Soviet.
ended. Yeah. So
Mm.
it really just got to that point of, is it really considered anymore? Like in
I don't
my
know. 'Cause
it like for example, Nikolai, yeah, it'll be considered whole 100%. But it's sort of like it being able to stand on its own 2 feet. Sadly, no. Not without a
yeah,
proper time frame of a site, it can't exist.
the only GIU that I know of was didn't Apollo have a GIU?
I don't think so. The only one I knew that existed was Swift's, and we all know how that went.
They still exist.
Wait, they exist still?
Yeah, Swift as a foundation does. They actually stayed alive.
Wow. After all the after that, okay. But
Yeah, I
their
know. I was pretty surprised too.
but their GRU is nothing special. It's only meant to be on their site specifically because
Yeah.
Swift got ownership of it. I was in that GRU
Weirdly enough,
before, but that was the only GRU I've ever seen, ever known, yada yada.
weirdly enough, GIU was actually allied to Mackey's Arc 478.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, they were allied to us. When the alliance ended, when one of the GIU operatives shot Mackey and killed him, and then relations were cut.
Bruh. Bruh moment. I really don't get that. It's like, yo, you killed me in Roblox, relations cut. I don't get
Yeah, I
that.
don't get it. I don't get it either. Like, I'm sure those Gawk operatives in Phoenix that killed Laura, you know?
GOC, that was a whole bag of beans when that fell. Now I have like two GOCs that are interested in Nikolai, and they're like,
Yeah, there were remnants of Festives.
yeah, pretty much every single one is a remnant. But if they want to do things different, okay. If they want to prove themselves different, okay, that's fine. It's just don't repeat the errors of your past too much. You could
Yeah.
try that. You won't be able to unavoid it entirely, of course, but you can at least attempt, you know?
Mm. I think But no, I think other than that, I can't see any other lines to SCPFs like existing. I mean SCPFs, GOIs. The rest of them are very much hostile to a foundation or too SCP related to be a GOI that works in Roblox. Like MCD.
Oh my god, Marshall Carter and Dark can't work. I know a friend, and she's very well. They are very like they wanted to do that, and I'm like, yeah, that's good. But in my head, I just was like, it. When I more thought on it, I'm like, it's not possible.
MCD just doesn't work. They're not combat oriented at all.
They aren't combat oriented. They aren't research oriented. They aren't even external. There would have to be a development studio willing to share SCPs with the genre. That
Hey, that's
would,
not a bad shout. That's cool. That's
yeah.
kind of cool. Though.
This is the thing, though. You would have to do contracts, and that goes back into tandem with the whole like funds thing. You would have
Yeah,
to
like hey.
charge, like, hey, you use this SCP if you break relations, blah blah. Like that's the problem. It's not sustainable in that regard.
Yeah, and like at the end of the day, what are they gonna do? You did a contract with the SCP, and if they break off with you, fuck are you gonna do? Report them to Roblox? Roblox doesn't give two flying fucks.
And we're back to that point again. It repeats. It's a cool idea, but just greed and money and all this other
Yeah, I
malarkey.
think the only way MCD could work is if it was developed into the foundation from day one as like a thing that was part of it. Yeah, there's gonna be a GOI that isn't really a GOI, but it's gonna be a part. It's gonna be a hostile group that exists within our foundation, but it's not organized.
Yeah.
Kind of like how CDN was in Phoenix. Is my big think of what I
Oh,
can have.
CDN. That was that was amazing. By the way, the CDN idea is amazing. Like teaming them.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like that. They'd be a group that was there to fucking like do chaos, but they wouldn't be organized, and their chaos wouldn't so much be in like doing damage. But like I think I told you about how a group there was MCD dealers, and you could give them SCPs like quests and shit.
Hmm. Yeah. That's cool. That's like yeah that can work.
That's like the only way I can see MCD working.
Mm.
Past that, no other GOIs I can think of. I've seen people try and make unknown work. Not that unknown, the actual group unknown.
Yeah, I know that. I've seen
Fine line to tread.
Delta's really pushing their Anderson robotics to the front, which okay, what's different? It's futuristic.
Aren't their operators technically robots? Isn't that like their entire thing?
I'm not sure. I don't know too much about the Anderson robotic lore other than like that one robot that's trying to contact someone. Like within confinement, that robot. That's the
Yeah, no,
only instance.
that's the only thing I know as well. But no, I think in Delta their operatives are actually like robots. They
Hmm.
just look obviously they look humanoid because they're humanoid robots.
Okay.
But you know, I mean obviously circuit cults. Circuit cults do work as well as a GUI.
Oh yeah, that's per the core circuit cult. Yeah, that works.
They just kind of got lost to time. I saw them in one group way back when in like 2018, and never saw them again. They just kind of fell off. But now obviously they're coming back into Delta.
But as their own GUI, it's not like external. It's their own.
Yeah,
And
and I think that's the approach which is going to happen with GUIs in the future.
but the thing is, people forget that the genre isn't limited to what's on the wiki or what's on
I mean, yeah,
what's everywhere else. Because ideas I have for Nikolai regard like, hey, maybe a CIA division that's like remnants of the United States. Or what about town next door is basically a cult to the site. Whatever the case, you know? Stuff
yeah.
needs
Like
to be thought of instead of referred to all the time.
at the end of the day, the entire SCP wiki was made for creativity. I'm like, it's not like gospel. You don't have to follow it to a T. At the
Yeah,
end of the day, you can make what you want. Make your own universe in relation to the SCP one we have.
yeah.
People have done it before.
And I had a friend who wanted to make a Canadian UIU basically, but it never got through because it was such a very bare bone idea. It wasn't expanded on. Plus,
Canadian UIU.
yeah, it was called CAD,
Mm-hmm.
CAD, Canadian
What did it
Anomalous
stand for?
Division or something.
Okay.
I don't know, but yeah, it didn't go well. It dropped out sadly.
Yeah, I can't imagine how you'd actually go about making a GOI.
It's simple. Make a group, get people to run it, and talk to people. Boom, there you go. GOI. Yay!
It sounds so simple,
Yay!
but slowly more and more is being expected of GUIs. Like you're not a big GUI unless you have your own rating site now. That's another thing.
Oh my god. Freaking. I don't think that's a thing. Honestly, I think people are just really like, it has to be. No. You have, in order to be a GOI, just make the group, have a good substance of lore in some sense. And if you know people, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That that's it. That's literally it. That's literally what that's what I think Isaac did, and boom. Actually, no.
Now
The
he's the
thing
biggest GUI on
yeah. So Isaac actually got the ownership. It wasn't just like he made it himself. I think I'm not sure. Like the history teacher, I'm not so sure. All I know is that when Isaac took over, oh buddy, he was on the radar everywhere, bro. Shout out to THI people and Isaac, homie, frickin' one of the best GOI owners because he's literally just there chilling. That's it. And if anyone's like, well, you're not mature enough, you aren't this, it's like, okay,
and
and welcome to Roblox, welcome to a game, welcome to video games. Like, I understand you want to have that expectation towards people. Do not confuse me for criticizing you on that, for criticizing anyone on that. If you want someone to be mature, by all means, have that expectation to them. But if they are their own person, have their own group, have their own system going, and have their own success, you're not stopping them with just your statement, no matter how big you are. People are going to be people. They aren't going to follow entirely.
Mm.
It's really. I had that situation recently. Oof. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I might be called out for that. Yike! But again, I'm not going to be toxic. I'm just saying what I feel, and it's like, don't force people to act mature to be mature. Have people
Mhm.
do what finds them success and be you. If you try to enforce your will onto other people, it's not going to go so well.
Yeah, like I think that's another thing. Like enforced grammar and maturity and shit through the like code of ethics or SNR and shit, whatever you want to call it.
If you could see my freaking physical reaction to that, holy shit. I used to be that guy. All right, I will admit I used to be that guy.
You ever somebody ever spelt something wrong in front of you, you'd fucking correct them. That type of guy.
Yep. I regret that in many ways because it's stupid, but I was younger, so at least I'm realizing to this point. When I got into
Yeah.
Phoenix, I had that mindset, but when I got to 05, I started to when I got to HR in 05 in Phoenix, I'm like, this is kind of stupid to enforce that. Just be me. And I did, and I went down as a pretty good 05. It's just you have to not push it. You can enforce to a minor degree and have people be like, hey, at least get the idea of what you're saying across. That's it. But if you're just like,
You got it,
hang
Flamer.
on.
You got it.
Hold on. Like this, for example. Okay, well,
Oh.
oh, great. Yeah, see what I mean? Like, there's also a reason for it, and it's this. The censorship bar in Roblox is really iffy.
Yep.
So,
I
Yeah.
almost forgot about that.
So see what I mean? I tried to say
Yeah,
go to CDC with a PLZ like text grammar, and then you put in proper grammar, because sometimes the censorship is just really, really bad in Roblox, and you have to speak like that, or you don't have to do the full capitalization. Just get the point across, or at least
yeah,
have it to where the Roblox censors don't frickin' tag out the entire thing. You only say
yeah.
you. So there's reasons for it, and then there's points where it's
Yeah,
like it's assholery.
yeah. I think there's a big difference as well between maturity and being an idiot.
Yeah, very, very much so. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
because for that, I think people cross the bridge too much. Like, I mean, like the line, and enforce shit for that. Like, people can. I think people who are the smartest motherfuckers I know, and they speak in the worst fucking like grammar that I've ever seen.
Yeah, people get confused with me because I join Discords and I'm like, hello, and they're like, hi. And then I start responding in emotes and like random small words. And they're like, hey, on, you're a big deal in the genre. What are you about? And they actually ask me, I go full grammar, and they're like, what the fuck? like, I bend both worlds, to say the least. I do
Yeah.
well in that.
I feel like I'm always at a middle ground. I don't when I speak in full grammar, it's scary. People don't like it. But like I don't speak in like abbreviations. Like I type full U instead of just putting U because I don't know, can't stand that. Can't deal with it.
Yeah.
I don't mind people doing it, but I myself, if I do it, it fucking like brings me to my knees and I can't deal with it.
Yeah. It's just you gotta keep yourself humble. There you go.
Yeah, I don't I can't do
Keep
that. Can't
yourself
do
humble.
just a U. But it doesn't bother me if people do it. I know. Can't think of much else. Yeah, shut the fuck
You.
up. Nerd.
Yeah.
No, I think you know. I don't think we've been here a while now. Holy fuck.
Yeah. I could take a look here. Oh yeah. Now we're at most. Yay. That's the goal. All right. So conclude. So conclude or nah.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
Uh. Yeah. Nothing else.
I
Just.
sucks.
Uh. We're not going into that tonight. We are not going into that anyway. So yeah. So anything else you want to say, Vic, at all?
No, I have nothing at all.
All
I
right.
ran out at ask.
All right. So to those listening in, thank you for listening. I'll try to do another episode if this gets a good, you know, if this gets good traction. Like if it's to the point where we're gonna do like 5 to 6 of these, and if that doesn't work, then it's like, oh well, tried something. Yeah. Thank you all for watching, and see you all next time. Yeah. Yeah. Carry on.